Welcome, everybody, to the Thanksgiving episode of Electric Football. Real quick, we'd like to just say that we've been really happy with some of the feedback we've gotten on YouTube and from some of the other shows. So We'd like to give a quick shout-out. We'd like to thank that football guru for giving us a little... We wish we knew how you did that little video clip thing.
We're not technically inclined.
We do it right back for you, but you got enough viewers. You don't need us to help. Gio Knows has always been a big fan. And
Canadian, eh?
That's for the mass tweeter. So, from parts unknown, the mass tweeter.
Know where you're from.
So, you guys should all give their shows a look. So, it's week 12, and actually, it's still week 11 because it's Monday night. We had to do this early this week.
Right, it's the holiday. We're not going to have time to do this for you during the week because, we have family.
They may not like us, but they are family, and they have to feed us.
There.
So, here we go. Nobody's on the bye this week. And we're going to start out with the Thanksgiving games. So that's Houston at the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And feast your eyes on some of the best wide receivers in the game. You're going to have guys named Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson, Calvin and Andre. Good stuff.
Woody Herman?
Yes. I'm still pushing the Johnson & Johnson stock. Good stuff to watch. Also some great defensive linemen, Watt, Sue, Fairley. I'm going with the upset of the week. I'm taking the Lions. They're used to playing on Thanksgiving. They got nothing to lose. Houston barely got by Frost's surprisingly tough Jaguars last week. So give me the Lions.
We're going to agree, and we don't really know what each other's going to pick. We kind of try to tape this without the knowledge. Although this week I did read Steve's just because I was bored. But I'm taking the Lions too. First of all, the Lions usually feast on Thanksgiving. Both teams are coming off very tough games, and since the Lions are home, I'm going to like them on Turkey Day. Matt, Megatron, Mikel, Octomom versus the Texans, who looked sluggish and beatable Sunday.
There you go, folks. So the next game is the Redskins at the Cowboys. And last week, the referees beat the Browns. The Cowboys beat the Browns.
Oh, right.
But what a horrible call. How can a wide receiver catch a pass, tuck it, start running, buy some coffee, drink it, and then have the ball knocked out, and Ed Hockley's out there like showing off the guns? Ed Hockley, I'm sorry, that was a fumble. That was a fumble in the 70s. It should be a fumble in the 2012s. Ridiculous call for the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones like, oh boy, I didn't pay $8 billion for this stadium not to get some calls. Send up the hookers.
That's your Jerry Jones?
That's my Jerry Jones. The Redskins looked great against a just completely smushed Eagles team.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Redskins to win this because of massive Cowboy hatred.
RG3 came alive yesterday, and the Cowboys barely beat the Browns at home. They had Romo looks as flustered as he can be, and the defense will need an opening night-like performance, like when they played against the Giants on opening night. I mean, they're going to need that kind of performance from the Cowboys to shut down the Skins. I like Washington, but I'm taking the home team again here, too.
They wouldn't even let Romo throw to try and win that game at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugly how
they
little
were throwing
confidence they have.
5-yard outs. That was strange.
So then we go on to the Patriots at the Jets, and we can officially end this whole Bill Belichick is smarter than everyone. He's smarter than Einstein talk. What the hell are you doing having Rob Gronkowski, Gronk block on the point after when you're up like 28 points in the fourth quarter? He broke his arm. That was a dumb move. Spygate was a dumb move. The hoodies look stupid. Wear a Vince Lombardi suit. I'll be impressed. I'll think you're a genius. I mean, honestly, Stu, what's next? Wes Welker is the nose tackle? Tom Brady returning punts?
Hey, they got wide receivers playing corners and linebacker. They might as well put them on the line.
And the Jets came back to life, I guess. How thrilled can you be over a victory over the Rams? So, people around here are trying to say, oh, now it's time for the Jets to go on a run. Oh, they have an easy schedule. It's not. The Patriots are going to win this game. They're going to end the Jets season, and Bill Belichick's going to look smarter than Rex Ryan.
The Patriots are averaging 130 more yards per game than the Jets. Do you need to really talk about much else? The defense had 3 defensive touchdowns against the Colts. Is Sanchez going to look any better than Andrew Luck? I really don't think so. Gronk broke his arm. Brady barely broke a sweat. And the dominance of the New England Patriots continues. Thursday night, Patriots.
There we go. So we move on to Titans at the Jaguars. And the Jags, with Chad Henne, who you know a little bit about, gave the Texans all they could handle and then some. If the Jags had any defense, they would have won that game. Titans are coming off a stomping of Stu's Dolphin and then a bye week last week, so it's hard to judge this game either way. I'm going with the Titans. The ability to run the ball against the Jags should carry them through in this game.
All right. Jags won 2 of the last 3. Not many points in any of those games. They were like 13, 11 kind of games. Both teams ranked nearly dead last or close to last on both offense and defense. But the Jags showed they can play with the Texans, and I think they're going to build on that. Henny's already been named the starter for the next game, so he's going to get the full reps. I'm not a Henny guy, believe me. I had him for a number of years. But I like the home team Jags here.
Okay. Bills at the Colts. And the Colts looked pretty bad in the second half against the Patriots when they weren't breaking people's arms. The Bills kept real slight wild card hopes alive with a lackluster Thursday night win over the Miami Dolphins.
Shut up.
At this point, this game's kind of a toss-up, but I think luck is actually better than Fitzpatrick, and that's how I'm gonna play this game. I'm going the Colts at home with the lucky horseshoes.
All right, Bills have won 2 of the last 3 in this series as well, and that was with Peyton Manning. Well, maybe not last year, if they played last year. I didn't really do that good a statistical look, but however, all right, so at least 2 of the last 3 included Peyton Manning. C.J. Spiller and Fitzpatrick could have a very nice day against the upstart Colts. I'm still not sold that the Bills are that good, but they have enough here with 10 days rest to come in and I think beat the Colts.
Okay. Steelers at the Browns.
We haven't agreed yet, have we?
I don't know. And we don't know what we did last week. So if you want to look at last week's video, which didn't get many hits, and tell us how we did, we'd sure appreciate somebody running the numbers for us. So Steelers at the Browns. I've already talked about Cleveland being robbed. They really played pretty well against the Dallas. Dallas also got a couple of cheap pass interference calls. Well, one legitimate one.
Yeah, one was legit.
And one where if you can't tackle with a shoulder as a receiver's falling down, what are you supposed to do?
Even the announcers were saying, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry the man got hurt on that play, but you have to be able to – they're moving at incredible speeds, and you're not hitting a stationary target. He didn't go for the head. He went, he put his shoulder.
He was falling down as he was heading for a shoulder. Now it's your head.
Or was it the guy behind him there, blaming, who's diving for the tackle, and all of a sudden he's being driven back?
I think it's Obama.
The Steelers now have the plague that used to be taking out their running backs is now taking out their quarterbacks. Leftwich looked like a guy that had been knocked out 3 times and gotten up to try and answer the bell. Against the Ravens. You could clearly tell he was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
He probably should have come out of the game. Electric football, golf clap for him for toughness, but he couldn't make the passes at the end of that game. He's hurt now. The Browns, Trent Richardson, Brandon Weeden, do they have enough to beat the Steelers? I think they do at home. I mean, you're down to Charlie Batch at this point. I don't know who's after Batch, so all the Browns have to do is hurt Charlie Batch, and then it would be me.
He doesn't know it yet. They called me. Steelers are hurting physically, and the Bumblebee uniforms hopefully are going to get pressed, folded, and put away forever. It's just visually hard to watch that. The Browns showed great spirit on the road against Dallas, but it's the second game on the road in 2 weeks. I think the Steelers need the game to stay in contention after losing to Baltimore last night. I'm going to go with the Steelers until the Browns prove that they can win more than 2 games this season.
All right, we continue to disagree. Raiders at the Bengals, and the Bengals are up and coming. They're a 5-5 team, and they're one of the few mid-of-the-pack teams that I actually believe could make a run and do something in the playoffs. A.J. Green scored again last week. I think that's 9 in a row. I see no reason why he's not going to score the 10th time. Raider Nation is crumbling. There's a puppet regime in there. Their defense is ranked 24th in everything as far as I can tell, against the run, against the pass, scoring, 24th worst buffet in the league. There's nothing that shows me the Raiders have a pulse right now.
The Bengals played Juliet on Sunday and let Romeo Crennel kill himself as a head coach. The Raiders, meanwhile, played a spirited game of who dat as the Saints were running by them for touchdowns. Raiders look like they won't compete, and Doolin Dalton and his outlaw gang should prevail at home on this game.
There you go. Broncos at Chiefs. And if you look up the word listless in the NFL dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Romeo Crennel. And if you look up the word leader, you're going to see Peyton Manning's pencil eraser-like head. But God bless him. He's picked once he got in sync with the team and once he got fully healthy, which I don't think he was at the beginning of the season, the Broncos are on a 5-game win streak. They look as scary as any team in the league. Von Miller is just eating up quarterbacks and throwing.
He was worth the number 2 pick, boy.
Oh, man. What's he at, like 13 and a half sacks? He had 4 last week.
MVP of the league.
Yeah, J.J. Watt's just watching him like, woo, there goes my MVP.
Yeah. Well, it's more like this with him.
Okay.
He has no neck.
Stewart says to J.J. Watt. So there's no reason to think that the Bengals aren't going to run the score up on the Raiders like just about everybody else has.
Herm said, you play to win the game. Someone should tell the Chiefs that.
Okay. Simple analysis. We'll move on to the Seahawks at the Dolphins. This game's going to be played out at sea, evidently. The Seahawks are coming off a bye, and they're no offense here, Stu, but they're going to just stuff Marshawn Lynch down the Dolphins' blowhole. There's no reason to do anything but run the ball. It's a great little rookie quarterback matchup. We got Wilson versus Tannehill, but my money's on the Seahawks, tougher D, and a better running game. Stewart's going to start the FireJeffIreland.com website, evidently.
That's all I got to say.
That's our prop comedy. Well, I did the mass tweeter. We have props today, everybody. Whoa!
Oh.
All right, so we're going to move on to the Falcons at the Buccaneers. And how you throw 5 INTs, no touchdown passes, have a fumble, and still win is beyond me, but the Falcons managed to do it.
I watched a lot of the game. It was unbelievable.
Hasn't happened since like the early 60s or something like that, I believe I heard today. So Matt Ryan's deal with the devil evidently just paid off. Yeah, like, look, even if I'm horrible, we still have to win. But I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of Shiano. I'm on the pirate ship. The Buccaneers at home came back strong against the Carolina last week.
Last 4 minutes of a game, boy.
And Josh Freeman's just got great targets all around him. So give me the Buccaneers and, sorry, GSIM.
Falcons almost lost their second game in a row against the Cardinals. The Bucs' miraculous win against Carolina made me wonder, is Doug Martin the best running back in the NFC right now? I think he could be.
Almost said NFL.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't mean that because, there's still Ray Rice.
And Adrian Peterson.
Josh Jackson is becoming a real threat. So can Matt Ryan lead this team all the way to the Super Bowl? I am not convinced that he can, and I'm going to take the Bucs at home.
There's no question the Falcons are going to make the playoffs. It's what they do in the playoffs this year that I think everybody's waiting to see.
Yep.
Then we move on to my Vikes at the Chicago Bears. We don't know what the Bears did because it ain't Monday night. Hasn't happened yet.
It's 2 hours away.
A lot of this is going to depend on whether Cutler gets medical clearance or not, but even that's not going to make enough of a difference. The Vikes,
He's out. He's out today.
Well, I'm talking about next week. I'm talking about Vikes at Chicago. Yeah. The Vikes are coming off the bye, and they're running into a nightmare. They're running into a great defense. They're running into a away game against a team that can stop the run, force Ponder to throw, and it'll probably be cold in Chicago. I got to go against my boys. I got to go against Gio's boys. I got to go with the Bears.
Yeah, Minnie hasn't won in this series since 2009, and I don't expect that to change in 2012. The Bears are playing tonight. We don't know the outcome, but I'm convinced that they will not have much of a problem shutting down Christian Ponder and AP. That Chicago defense is on par with the 85ers looking, to me right now. Their offense is what, lets them win or lose. And with Cutler out, it'll be interesting tonight in San Francisco, but I don't think it'll be much very interesting next week.
All right. Then we move on to the Ravens at the Chargers. And the Ravens D-line looked incredible last night. They were Halati Nada was just eating ribs. He was eating Leftwich ribs. Ooh, some sauce on there. Arr! That's my second zombie reference. I got to stop watching The Walking Dead.
I got nothing.
Anyway, I expect the Ravens D to help Phillip Rivers increase his interception and fumble totals. He's going to hit double digits on fumbles this year, and I expect that to happen this week. I think he's got 17 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Mm-hmm. That may be even by the end of this game. Little note: Ed Reed is out for an illegal hit, so that hurts the Ravens, but it doesn't hurt them enough that the Chargers can beat them. So give me the Ravens. on the road.
The Ravens have the 25th ranked defense. I'll say that again. The Ravens have the 25th ranked defense in the NFL. But the Chargers have Norv Turner. Take the Ravens.
Alrighty then. Then we move on to St. Louis at the Cardinals. And I got to tell you, if you could predict a 0-0 tie, this might be the time I would do it. Might be. I've been on the Sam Bradford bandwagon. Might be time for me to jump off a little bit.
He doesn't have receivers.
It's true. I keep saying that, but at some point we're going to have to find out if he ever gets receivers, whether he's the real deal or not. I still think he might be, but I'm edging towards the exit on the Sam Bradford bandwagon, I have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Cardinals, you get 6 turnovers and you can't win a game. I mean, that's not going to happen again. I'm going to take the Rams in this one. I'm taking a lot of away teams, and that's usually a recipe for disaster. But give me the Rams just by dint of them having a little more talent on the offensive side of the ball. The Cardinals are down to who now?
David Lindley or Ryan Lindley or Audra Lindley? I don't know. Mrs. Roper is quarterback now? I don't know.
I mean, they passed for 70 total yards last week, so give me Bradford at least in this one.
But the Rams shut down the Cards at home earlier this year. This time it's in Arizona. And then the Rams shut down after that game. The Cards were feisty in a loss to the Falcons, and I like the Cards to deal the Rams another high draft pick position. Even if they don't decide who's under center by Sunday at 2:30, halfway through the game.
Okay. San Francisco at the Saints, and the Saints' upcoming schedule is just hellish. So they've got the 49ers, the Falcons, the Giants, the Bucks, and the Cowboys. I mean, that's just tough.
Mm-hmm.
They've been on a roll. Their offense is putting up, points on everybody. But I see it coming to an end here. Once again, I'm going the away team. I don't even think it's going to matter who's the quarterback for San Francisco. If it's Kaepernick or if it's Smith, it'll probably be Smith. He'll probably be cleared. He was almost cleared this week. So give me the 49ers to end the Saints' run.
Saints have no D. The 49ers' D is ranked second. 49ers have the number 1 rushing offense. The Saints have voodoo.
Don't you mess with the voodoo.
Don't mess with the voodoo. Saints have won 2 of the last 3. Ooga booga. I'm going to take Drew Brees in this one, and they're kind of on fire, and I just like him at home. Who dat? The Saints is that.
Okay. So then we've got the Green Bay Packers at the Giants. So it's the G's against the G-men. And the Packers have won 5 in a row also. They've been on a big run. They haven't been overly impressive in doing it, but they have been winning, and that's really the name of the game. And they still need this game because of the replacement refs and the game they lost to Seattle and the push-off and all that sort of thing. So they're coming in against the Giants, who are coming off the bye. Giants have had a couple of disappointing weeks. The Cowboys are now, lighting a fire under the Giants because they're in the hunt. They shouldn't be. They should have lost last week, and the Giants should have won at least one of their last 2 games. But the Giants have let them back in this. I think the Giants' defensive line comes to life. I think they're going to be well rested, and I think they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to give this one to the home team and take the Giants.
Packers, they visit a well-rested Giants. Second road game in a row. But this is November, right?
This is November.
Yeah, Giants never win in November. I'm taking the Packers.
Okay. And our last game is Carolina at the Eagles. And Andy Reid's resume right now says 1999 to present. It may say 1999 to 2012 by the end of this game.
Yeah.
I can't, and we goof around a lot, but I have to think that the death of his son in training camp, his son OD'd at their training camp, has to have weighed very heavily on his mind. I hope that the Reid family is able to weather the storms that they've gone through this year. It's been a hard time. I mean, if you look at the Eagles games, they could easily be 0-9.
Mm-hmm.
The games they won, they really shouldn't have. So he's been a class act, and he's been a great coach. It's sorry to see it come to an end. I think Carolina still has enough fire. I think the Eagles have quit on Andy Reid. So I expect Carolina to win this game.
And Cam looks lost. Nick Foles looks lost. Loria looks well-dressed. Deshaun Jackson looks traded. This is like one of those games where, ABC is saying, could we get one of the Sunday night games? When does this flex scheduling begin? I don't know if anyone's going to be watching it other than Eagles and Panthers fans, but I'm going to take the Panthers. I think the Eagles are just stick a fork in them, done.
I'll tell you who'll be watching it. Gruden, Cowher, Billick, guys like that.
Billick, please call me. I'm still out there. I'm not even on TV anymore.
Anyway, this has been Electric Football.
Thanks for watching.
We hope you guys have a just wonderful Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoy it. Please hit the little subscriber button or give us some comments if you'd like to.
We'll see you next week on Electric Football. That's Steve Brown.
That's Stu Pace.
See ya.